Thank you, Chairman Rogers. Thank you, Ranking Member Meng. Thank you, Ranking Member DeLauro. And thank you to you, Secretary Lutnick. Thanks for being here today. I want to pick up on what Mr. Morelli was talking about, and I'll use the word stability. And I think you know this from your many years in business. And that's what I thought about as I was preparing for today. The importance of stability, or as he said, predictability. Stability is the foundation of economic growth. I think you've lived it. Businesses need clear and predictable rules to plan and to invest for the future. Given this administration's claim of being pro-business and pro-growth, I am so baffled by the discussions around trade deficits and the president's belief around trade deficits and the president's beliefs around tariffs and the chaotic tariff policy. They're on, they're off. Many of the tariffs are punishing, creating a level of instability and uncertainty in our economy that we haven't seen since COVID.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we've got Representative Dean, and she, as a matter of fact, is questioning Howard Lutnick over tariffs. So this one's going to get quite good, and I'm going to do a little reaction to this right fast because I just love doing these things. So y'all make sure and buckle up, smash the like button, subscribe, and all that goobly-gobbly stuff. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can, and let's just dive into this thing.
I hear the same thing over and over from constituents, from small businesses, from bankers in my area. They can't figure out how to plan, how to lend. Businesses can't figure out how to expand, how to grow, whether to hire, whether to not hire. And I'd heard just literally this morning from a very large American retailer. First word out of the woman's mouth was uncertainty, and the last thing she said to me was uncertainty, all surrounding tariffs, the lack of predictability. I also serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee, was recently in UK and Denmark, met with the American Chamber in both countries. Confused, uncertain, they can't figure it out. What in God's name is going on? We cannot plan to grow businesses. We cannot plan to grow growth and jobs. So I am baffled, absolutely baffled, by this administration's talk around trade deficits and tariffs. I fear the administration lacks a basic understanding of what a trade deficit is. I think many economists take issue with equating a country's trade deficit with any one country and its economic well-being. Some economists actually view a trade deficit as a sign of a country's economic health because it means we're purchasing more. For me, I have a pretty large trade deficit with my local grocer or my hairdresser. It's a good thing. It means I have money enough to get my hair done once in a while and to keep food on the table.
You know, I'm going to interject right quick. I was honestly expecting a little bit better of an argument than, oh, I have trade deficits with my hairdresser and my local grocer. I mean, come on, are you serious? That you cannot equivocate that to global economics, for crying out loud, or even national economics. Trade deficits are not a very good thing, right? And it's not just a single trade deficit with a single nation. It's the fact that we have trade deficits with just about every single nation. That means our wealth is being extracted from. Like, we've been able to survive up until this point because we're the global hegemon, for crying out loud. We've got the petrodollar. Everybody has to buy U.S. dollars if they want to purchase oil, but that's coming to an end, folks. That is quickly coming to an end. So we need to do something about this. This is Donald Trump preparing for just that circumstance. Because, look, we've got the BRICS nations, they're buying oil in their own currency. We've got the European Union, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could just dive into this for a while. This is a childish representation of what trade deficits actually mean. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I thought she was going to come with something a little bit better than that, but I guess not, folks.
It tells nothing about my overall financial position. Do you know when this country actually had a trade surplus, Secretary?
We've had trade surpluses. The president likes to speak about before.
No, historically. When did we have a trade surplus? I'm not talking about the president. Historically.
I think early, about 100 years ago.
It was the Great Depression. It was a sign of what was going on. It was during the Great Depression. That's a direction none of us wants to go. Tariffs. It's 90 days. We're going to have 90 deals in 90 days. Then there's a 90-day pause. Many of these tariffs, as they say, punishing. Tariffs on things that make no sense whatsoever. Where are we going to go with the remaining deals? I know of one deal that has been apparently resolved with the United Kingdom. We got 89 more deals to do in just a few more days. Where are we on those deals?
We are in the midst of negotiations with dozens and dozens of countries. We could sign deals, but they're only going to get better as we negotiate them.
That's just simply not
Trade-
true. Because as I told you, the American...
Actually, I promise you it's true because I'm doing it. So I promise you it is true, and I'm here
Thank you.
testifying in front of you, and I promise you it's true.
And Mr. Trump promised to bring down the cost of goods day one. And what he has done through his trade deficit fixation and his tariff chaos has nakedly increased the cost of goods. The estimates are that for consumers in my area, suburban Philadelphia, $2,000 at least a year increases on goods. I'll give you an example of one. Bananas. What's the tariff on bananas? Americans, by the way, love bananas. We buy billions of them a year. I love bananas. What's the tariff on bananas?
The tariff on bananas would be representative of the countries that produce them.
And what's that tariff?
Generally 10%.
Correct, 10%. And Walmart has already increased the cost of bananas by 8%.
But as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with
But
us,
the
that will
cost
go
is
to
on the
zero.
American consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now. Mr. Secretary, I believe you know better. I believe you recognize that a trade deficit is not something to fear. I believe you know that predictability, stability is essential for businesses. I wish you would show that truth to this administration. And I yield back.
Time of the gentlelady.
I'm sorry, this lady is just an idiot. I can't, I'm not going to apologize for saying so either. That's such a childish view of trade deficits. And you love how she just throws that in there with the bananas thing. Oh, Walmart's increased the price of bananas by 8%. You love that, don't you? Once again, folks, I say this all the time. You know, these people, they keep saying it's a tax on you. Right? And I've never denied that. However, people have called me stupid, called me an idiot, called me misinformed, blah, 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 for saying that the company is going to absorb some of that tariff. And I've made video after video after video proving my point. And now, once again, a Democrat proves that point for me. Sure, it's only a measly 2%, but they are still absorbing some of the tariff. So all you people out there that want to tax the corporations, blah, 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 tax the rich and all that other goobly-gop stuff, there you go. Trump is taxing the rich. How come you're not cheering to the freaking high heavens? He is also at the same time reshifting global trade and getting us better trade deals in the process. So how come these people aren't cheering to the high heavens? They're not, because they're Trump deranged and they refuse to admit it. Oh, Trump's just an evil orange man. I'm not deranged with Donald Trump. Everything is Donald Trump's fault, though. How is that even possible? How can everything be one man's fault, you might ask? Yeah, it's not possible. He might be the most powerful person in the world. He's sitting on top of the U.S. economy, for crying out loud. Donald Trump saw the writing on the wall. We were getting shoveled over the head, like with a shovel, literally, just beat over the head, mercilessly beaten over the head with trade and trade deficits. We were being extracted from, for crying out loud. And Donald Trump said, I've had enough. He's going to protect American manufacturing, trying to get more American manufacturing to come back to this nation so we can try to build back better, if you will, if you want to go down that route. Well, Biden did nothing. Trump in his first term did hardly anything. Sure, there was a little bit of a trade war going on. He was attempting to get the job done, but not nearly to the scale that he's doing now. Now, I've always said this. These blanket tariffs, like tariffs on bananas, don't make any sense. They don't make any sense at all. In a vacuum, they don't make any sense. However, when you look at the trade deals that Donald Trump is negotiating, the fact that we were getting shoveled over the freaking head with a baseball bat. Yeah, you can get shoveled over the head, and it doesn't have to be necessarily with a shovel. You can just get beat over the head mercilessly by these other countries. And the argument, oh, it's another one of those childish arguments. Oh, well, we're the richest nation on the planet. Does that mean that we can be taken advantage of? No, I'm sorry. That is not what that means. Donald Trump says, no, we're not going to do this anymore. And I love every single minute of this. Now, these tariffs, they're going to go away. Once again, she was talking about 90 deals in 90 days, or it's 89 at this point. And we've only got a few days left, right? Well, yeah, those are going to get pushed back. I can almost guarantee that. Those tariffs, they're not going to go back to where they were because we're in negotiations. Any country we're not in negotiations with, sure, those will go up, but those are probably insignificant countries that we don't really deal with all that much anyway, so it's kind of just ancillary, if you will. But the countries that we're really worried about, yes, those are definitely gonna get pushed back a little bit further. So no worries on that. And I love the trade deal that Donald Trump is doing with the UK. Right? We're still getting paid from tariffs. This is just lovely. And these people are having a hissy fit over there. They're rolling around on the floor in their own feces because they just threw up. They just barfed all over themselves when they heard Donald Trump. And I love that. They don't know how to handle this childish view of what a trade deficit does. I'm not some economist, for goodness sakes. I'm just a guy, right? When Donald Trump started doing all of these tariffs, I went and read a little bit about tariffs and about trade deficits and all that other stuff because I make videos on YouTube. I need to be at least a little bit knowledgeable. Now I'm going to leave the actual dealing to the experts. However, you know, a trade deficit, like you said, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But when we have trade deficits to the extent that America has trade deficits with just about every country in the world, we are definitely being extracted from. And we can't compete with places like China that has, what is tantamount to slave labor, for goodness sakes. Our labor costs a lot more than China's. So what do we offer in return to any other country where our labor is the highest of any other country, for goodness sakes? We need American manufacturing. We have nothing to offer the rest of the world, for goodness sakes. We don't export culture like we used to. That is going downhill fast because this woke ideology nonsense is not taking hold on the rest of the world, if you will. They don't like it because it's psychotic. So our culture is not being sold off. So that's something else that we need to worry about. We used to be able to sell movies all across the world. Not so much anymore because we're not making good movies because everything is, oh, you're a bigot. Oh, you're a misogynist. Oh, you're this or oh, you're that. You're racist. Whatever, you name it. Everything is that. So they try to tippy-toe their way around every single aspect of normal daily life. You can't be funny anymore because if you tell a joke, all of a sudden, oh, you're anti-Semitic. What? Or you're a racist or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. The woke ideology is psychotic, and people see this. But once again, I'm not trying to get off into some debate on woke ideology nonsense. We were talking trade deficits, and I thought we would have done a little bit better with somebody who is Ivy League educated, for goodness sakes. But I guess not. That's all I got on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Some of these congressmen, they're too stupid for their own good, it seems like. But, it is what it is. I'm right there with them, though. I'm just as stupid. I just so happen to be a little bit more logical, I guess. And I can see what Donald Trump is attempting to do. I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I can at least see the logic behind what Trump is attempting to do. So I want y'all to let me know what y'all think. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.